prison that makes you sleep standing up. A prison where the only way out is in a coffin. And a prison that locks you in a cage 24/7. Those are just a few of the highest security prisons I gotta show you. From Supermax all the way down to extreme luxury at level 1. Yeah, and I know that sounds crazy, but this place is located on a private island. I'm talking sea view houses, cycling routes, and even its very own members-only beach. Sounds like a pretty sweet vacation spot if you ask me. Only the entrance fee here is committing a crime. See, this is Bastoy, Norway's most laid-back prison lockup with 100 inmates, barely any guards, and the freedom to do anything you want. Because these guys aren't just serving time, they're taking 5-star cooking classes, painting, and even laying down tracks in their own private recording studio. Jesus, this isn't prison, it's a damn summer camp for criminals. And the inmates here aren't just some dudes who forgot to file their taxes either, because Bastoy holds dangerous criminals too.
You're in prison for murder.
Yeah.
You killed somebody.
Yeah.
I can't help but notice that right behind you are a whole bunch of very sharp knives.
Yeah. Yes.
Nobody here is worried about that, or?
No.
Should I be worried about that?
No.
These prisoners are really out here living their best life. That's crazy. That was only level 1. With each additional level, security measures get more extreme, ending with the world's highest security prison at level 100. Level 10. Halden, on the other hand, might give off college campus vibes, but this is where Norway sends the absolute worst of the worst. Like, this prison's actually got fortified walls and patrolling guards. But even the country's highest security prison feels like luxury, because instead of locking murderers in tiny cells and throwing away the key, Halden inmates live in big apartment-style condos.
This is home?
Yeah, this is home, yeah.
Karsten was convicted of killing a man in Brazil. This is his cell block with a full kitchen, big screen TV, laundry room. You have a key to your own cell.
Yeah, everybody has their own key.
And just like the story, you'll find cooking and music classes, and you can even launch your very own podcast from a state-of-the-art recording studio.
Hold up. Wait a minute. Something ain't right.
I swear every one of their mothers got one these days. And with rising crime in the country, are we sure criminals are purposely committing crimes just to get their asses thrown in here? Damn, that's not your average prison right there. And neither is Cebu in the Philippines, because inmates are forced to endure the same brutal routine every single day. You see, inside this maximum security prison, you'll find all kinds of criminals.
2/3 of the men here have been either convicted or accused of murder or violent drug crimes, and are considered to be amongst the most dangerous offenders in the Philippines. But
what the hell is this place? Jesus, looks like a damn K-pop music video. And this routine is no joke, because 4 hours a day, rain or shine, convicted criminals are forced to bust down.
They're supposed to be murderers. It's supposed to be... Do we have to dance?
And the crazy part is, they're pretty damn good. I mean, their Michael Jackson routine racked up 60 million views on YouTube. Man, I've never seen anything like that. And I've never seen anything like this before either, because this might be one of the most feared prisons on Earth, but not for the reasons you'd expect. Let me explain. This is San Quentin. And yeah, it looks like an ordinary lockup, but don't judge a prison by its cover, because this place holds more death row inmates than any other in the US. I mean, to give you an idea of just how twisted these guys are, some of their crimes are so wild that kicking the bucket seems like the least crazy option.
I killed my cellie. That's the only way I was going to be able to get back into court, to do something like that.
Yeah, you know, stop them.
Yeah.
And
now I got a good lawyer. Now I got an appeal.
I gotta be honest, that's a no for me, man. So as a result, prison isn't taking any chances, meaning anyone that enters is basically doing so at their own risk.
We have a no hostage policy, and it simply states that in the unlikely event that you're taken hostage while you're inside the prison, the state of California will not negotiate your release for an inmate's release.
Oh, damn! That isn't very nice at all. Level 40. But Madagascar's Antanamora is straight up nasty, because this place is filthy as hell. I'm talking 4,000 prisoners locked up in a prison built for 800. And the living conditions are even worse than you'd expect. Like, say you wanted to have a shower. Well, if you can afford the water, this is where you'll be taking care of business. The toilets are holes in the ground. And if that wasn't enough, everywhere you look is infested with rats. I mean, at this point, I wouldn't be surprised if that's what they're serving up in the prison buffet. Ugh. But I think the worst part is, this is where you'll be sleeping. Without going into too much detail, let's just say personal space isn't a thing here, because inmates have no other choice but to sleep side by side, shoulder to shoulder with one another. And the only chance you get to roll over is when the cell boss tells you to. That's just messed up. But there's some prisons that take messed up to a dangerous level, because this one in Russia is literally torturing people. Yeah. This is CISO 1, a prison doing its best to make Antani Mora look like a cakewalk. Because with each inmate getting barely half a square meter of room, let's just say life out here is rough. For one, they're locked up 23 hours a day, sweating in 95-degree heat, sharing sheets, and sleeping in shifts because there aren't enough beds. I mean, things get so ugly that some inmates go weeks without a shower. How is that even legal? Jesus, man. But as bad as that all sounds, it's not even the worst thing about this place. Cause, seeing what they have to chow down twice a day made me want to scoop my damn eyeballs out with a spoon. Imagine 80 dudes packed into a cell sharing a single toilet. Now that's a shitstorm waiting to happen. But later in this video, the food will be the least of the inmates' problems. Cause one prison has literal landmines surrounding the entire facility, while another forces the most violent rival gangs to live in the same cell. Yeah, I'll tell you guys all about that soon. Level 60. But first, we gotta talk about Bolivia's biggest problem, San Pedro. Cause this prison isn't even a prison. It's a whole goddamn city. See, behind these 18-foot high walls is a village so off limits, even the prison guards want no part of it. Yeah, once an inmate steps inside, it's every man for himself. I'm talking no security, cell assignments, or rules. This place has dangerous written all over it. In fact, San Pedro has the highest mortality rate of any prison out there, with an average of 4 deaths every month. And surprisingly, inmates love it here. Like, they're free to get jobs and make money, rent a house to live in. Hell, they can even start a family or live with their wife and kids in prison. Now, there's a lot of problems with this place, but there's one problem that takes the cake. One inmate got accused of not being subscribed to the channel. So subscribe or your ass will end up in here too. Ridiculous. But it's still not as crazy as the ADX Florence, because this prison is so secure, it even has escape artists losing their minds.
It has famously been called a cleaner version of hell.
Death is easier than life at the Federal Supermax.
Equipped with hundreds of motion detectors, laser beams, and over 1,400 bomb-resistant remote control steel doors, this place is built like a fortress. Yeah. See, this is America's only Supermax facility, where inmates are pretty much cut off from any kind of human interaction. Imagine permanent solitary confinement to the point where inmates can go days without seeing a single person. So if the isolation alone doesn't break them, their 7 by 12-foot soundproof cells sure as hell will. Because here, every movement, every step, every sound, every last breath they take is under constant 24-hour surveillance. Now, you're probably left wondering, who the hell are they keeping here? The Boogeyman? Well, I decided to do a little bit of digging, and I came across one very familiar name.
This just-released footage of El Chapo shows the drug lord looking teary-eyed and in shock after he was flown to New York. He now faces a life sentence at Supermax prison in Colorado.
Yeah, not even Little Man's getting out of this one. Level 80. But getting into this prison is even harder, because only 15 people in the world are considered dangerous enough to earn themselves a spot. See, Guantanamo Bay isn't just any regular prison. It's located on a U.S. naval base in Cuba. And let's just say human rights can get a little bit sticky here, if you know what I'm saying. But anyways, outside of the legal loopholes, watchtowers, and an insane amount of barbed wire, turns out this place has a few more tricks up its sleeve.
One of the other amenities available to the detainees is a library of books, magazines, and video games. The titles are all vetted for suitability before being allowed.
I think we do have the Twilight series. The book that we have the most in different languages would be the Harry Potter series.
Oh, and the entire compound is surrounded by explosive mines. Damn, how those dudes are screwed. But not as much as the inmates hopping out of this prison bus. Because while it might not look like it, this Supermax is every gang member's worst nightmare. See, once labeled the most dangerous country in the world, El Salvador had a murder rate of 103 for every 100,000 people. They needed to find a solution. So in 2022, the president unveiled CCOT, the world's largest, most high-tech prison, and the country's superweapon against the war on gangs. Yeah, this place has it all. 11-meter-high reinforced concrete walls, 19 watchtowers with heavily armed guards, electric fences wrapping around the entire facility. It even has no cell service for over a mile in any direction. Now, with a prison like that, you'd think, I don't know, they'd be locked up and that would be the end of it. But no, because every aspect of this place is meant to humiliate them. From being stripped down to their boxer shorts and having their head shaved, to getting crammed into cells with 80 other inmates for all but 30 minutes a day. And that's not including one minor detail. Sharing the same overcrowded cells are two of the most violent rival gangs.
It's tense and uncomfortable. But here, officials say comfort isn't meant to exist.
There's no mattresses, there's no sheets. You've got a toilet over here for them to go to the bathroom. You've got this basin here that they use to bathe themselves. And then you can see there's a barrel of water that they can drink from. He says there's always somebody standing here in front of the cells. And then if you look up, there's another corridor with more security personnel.
But alright, we've seen a lot of high security prisons so far, and yet we've got one that tops them all. The most feared prison in the world at level 100. This is Black Dolphin, Russia's ultimate punishment, where 700 of the nation's most infamous criminals are locked away for good. Murderers, cannibals, and a few others so bad that I'm not even allowed to say them. Yeah, and with each inmate averaging 5 victims, you'll soon see why this place is dubbed Putin's personal hole into hell. You see, life inside Black Dolphin strips away every comfort of the outside world and replaces them with the harshest mental and physical challenges known to man. Imagine CCOT security on steroids in negative 50-degree weather, where every day alive is a struggle to survive. Forced to stand 16-hour days in cages and blindfolded anytime they leave their cells. Yeah, that actually happens. And sure, living conditions have improved over the years, but there's a reason the only way out of here is in a coffin. Damn. Now that's crazy. But look, it's not just prisons that claim lives, because the world has some deadly places too. From a cave that created the worst death imaginable, to an island with a tribe that hates visitors. It's ridiculous what they've got going on over there. Look, if you want to hear more, you need to click on this video right here. These are the most dangerous places in the world. And trust me, man, this video is a banger. You're missing out if you haven't seen it, so what are you doing? Click it!